This is the first video about balancing equations. So we're going to do a pretty simple example to go through the steps. So the first thing you're going to do when you see an equation, you'll be given the equation, is to decide what elements are in the equation. So in this equation, I see hydrogen and I see oxygen, just two. So I'm going to line those up down the middle of the equation, and I'm going to notice where the equation goes from reactants on the left to products on the right. So on the left of my chart, I'll consider the left of the equation, and on the right of my chart, I'll consider the right of my equation. So on the left, I can see that I have two hydrogen and two oxygen. So I'm just going to label them like that. And on the right, I have two hydrogen, but only one oxygen. Now that's a problem because I'm not really sure where the other oxygen went, and that tells me that the equation is not balanced. Now, the only thing wrong right now in this equation is oxygen. So what I'm looking to do is to get this 1 to be a 2 so that it matches the other side. The only way I can do that would be to put a 2 on this line so that we can multiply the 1 oxygen times 2 in front. So I'm going to put a 2 in front, and that's great because that changes my oxygen to 2, but it also changes my hydrogen to 2 times 2 is 4. So now, even though oxygen's all set, I've messed up my hydrogens. So I now have 4 hydrogens on the right, but only 2 on the left, and the only way to get those to match would be to make this area have 4 hydrogens. Now, since it's H2, I need to think how many groups of 2 do I need to get to 4? And I'm going to need 2 groups. So my coefficient will be a 2. And that's going to change my hydrogens to 4, and it's not going to affect my oxygens. So that means I'm done, and I need 2 H2, just 1 O2, and I'd get 2 H2Os, 2 waters. You should not put a 1 in a blank spot, just like we don't put a 1 for subscripts. You just leave it blank. And that's the basics of balancing equations.